It's a good story.
You can't tell it?
Can't tell it
Oh,
on
you
the
want me to keep
podcast.
talking?
You can tell it now.
Now. Go.
Okay.
Wow.
So for the longest time, we were just sitting here talking, and I was looking at the screen, and I was like, man, Patrick's being really talkative. And then I realized that I had clicked on his screen when he had the dog. So I've been watching Patrick the whole fucking time.
That's how it works.
It's been odd.
I had to put him out.
It's been odd.
Is he going to start scratching at your door or something?
Oh,
Acting
oh,
crazy?
no.
He'll give up. He already gave up.
What you got
He's
there?
lazy. Yeah, I want to get into this now since we are a foremost beverage review show on the internet. This is I've never had this. It's Wild Tonic, Hard June Kombucha. It's,
Wait, so that'll get you drunk and get you healthy?
yeah,
Yeah.
The
right?
fuck,
That's what they
bitch?
say.
Getting probiotics.
A
while you
rare
get fucked up.
cousin of kombucha, June is an exotic ferment made with the finest teas and honey.
You bought
So
that
it's
from a liquor store or a grocery?
This was a casual pint.
Oh, it's
Casual
shit.
pint.
Alright.
Open it. Oh, it's slippery.
Watch
I
out,
read it.
it'll pop on you.
I'm weak.
Good kombucha.
This is a twist, right? There we go.
Damn.
Slippery.
Sounds like a twist.
What
What's
gave
it
it
smell
away?
like?
Smells like honey. It smells really good, actually. Yeah. All right, here we go. Here we go.
So we already know a bear would like it.
Bears love
Bears like
kombucha.
blueberries too. It's
Blueberry
actually
honey.
it's actually really good. Blueberry honey.
I mean,
Nice.
blueberry. You can't go wrong.
That
for a-
sounds like a bear's like
For a
dream.
weird fermented mushroom drink, it does not taste musty or weird at all. It's very good.
I'm sold, man. I'm
Yeah.
sold.
Yeah. What's
Check this
what's a kombucha? Somebody please.
It's like fermented tea is what
Okay.
kombucha is.
Yeah, but isn't it fungus? There's a fungus in it, right?
I
There's
just know
something else
kombucha's
that they add
fermented,
to it.
It's fizzy.
Yeah.
It's good for you. It's got the probiotics because it's fermented. If
But
it's
they had a
alcohol.
few flavors. I went with
Yeah.
the blueberry.
All I know is that anytime I think about drinking, is it kombucha? It makes me feel uncomfortable before I even do it, so I don't do it. I've
Because
never
you're
tried
drinking
it.
living organisms.
Yeah, I
Mm.
just.
Well, you eat pizza, and pizza's made from yeast.
But it,
But they die
I
in
don't
the
know if
oven.
that's
I would.
the same thing.
I would
yeah.
think they die in the oven. But I think it might be true that when you eat oysters, especially if you shuck them yourself, I think they're alive.
Oh yeah, those are alive.
Yeah.
Those are,
Yeah.
they have to be alive. You don't want them already dead. Then they might go be bad, and you could get seriously sick.
Yeah,
I
want
ate a
that
live
pizza.
thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, got you.
Oh no!
We're tricksters down here on the Space Coast.
Got you good. Ha ha. Mainland girl didn't know she was eating real shit.
And it had poop in it too.
Yeah, you ate the poop too. We
Tiny
didn't
bit
tell
of
ya.
poop.
Ha ha.
Some sand in there too.
Yeah.
A Camboo.
Try again, Dave.
Okay.
Swinging a miss.
Dave, get out of the matrix and try again.
Now he's just in like a really humid version of the Matrix. It's like really hazy.
You can see the sweat just pouring off of him.
Dave, have you stuck with smoking the pipe on your streams? Have you been doing that
He's
I've
doing
smoked
crack?
it. I've done it like twice,
twice?
but it pisses me off when it goes out.
Yeah. So
So
you
I
don't
really
have the
get
skill
frustrated.
of keeping it going.
I used to. I don't know where the hell it went.
Yeah. It's tough. It drives me crazy. I wanted to go to the cigar place where I bought that tobacco I got you and just go in and find some old man smoking in the corner and be like, "Can you teach me how to Can I
No.
sit
Get the
sit
fuck out.
at your feet and can you teach me how to smoke a pipe?"
You're gonna have to live with him for like a year. Like that's an apprentice.
You're doing
He's
wild
gonna have
things
to
about
practice
him.
about him.
sucking on something.
You'd be packing
Always-
his pipes for him and
Right.
every day.
All he fucking talks about is Winston Churchill and the way things used to be.
And if you try to like take a hit off the pipe before he says you're ready, he hits you. He beats you with the pipe.
I do it
Calls you
too
the N-word
if I do it
for
too
no reason.
soon, it gets too hot. He hits me. If I do it too late, it goes out. He hits
Yeah.
me.
I mean, that's how you want your teacher. I mean, you'll learn your lesson.
Yeah.
We'll walk out there the best pipe smoker with one eye the world has ever seen.
Brad, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. What's going on with me? I have been balls deep in Skyrim VR. I think I got it modded out to as far as I can go. I got a little further. The coolest thing I have right now is something that takes advantage of Windows voice or speech recognition software. So now I can yell "Fus Roda" and it will actually shoot it, or I can just all I have to do is memorize the dragon shouts, and I can yell them at any time. I can also say like "Summon flames left" and "Summon sparks right," and it just appears in my hand. Fuck menus, don't have to go on them anymore.
Oh, that's
awesome.
It's pretty fucking dope. I got the shaders on there, so now instead of looking like shitty vanilla Skyrim, everything's retextured, and the light sources cast shadows as if they're actually coming from the light sources. It's not just pre-programmed. It looks like the game's made in 2030.
How can you call it shitty vanilla Skyrim?
Because it was made 11 years ago, and by graphic standards today, that's shitty.
Oh my damn!
I can't hear that.
a little dated. It is a little
Fucking
dated.
play it at my house now that you can do that at any old time.
Yeah, what are you
See
talking about?
what
I
the
played
features are about.
Pac-Man the other day, and it still looks great. No
Mhm.
updates required.
And I bought my house and my car for less than $30,000, Steve-O. What's the problem with today's youth? Don't want to work for a living?
Don't want to
Patrick.
shoot fire out of their
Yeah.
hands for a living.
Patrick,
Yeah.
What's up?
What's the matter with that?
what's up with Patrick?
Oh, had some sad news about my car today.
Oh,
Oh no!
No.
The bearings are going out. Pet Boys was wanting to charge like $800,
Ugh.
but my buddy knows a guy that actually does it for $350.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that.
That's the
Don't
way
ever
to
go to one of those places.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It does require some special tools, but it's not unheard of for someone to have access to it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You can rent those tools now too.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Well, that's
so that's
exciting.
what's going on.
All right.
You've been riding the Ubers instead of driving them.
Oh shit.
Oh, Patrick, I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's sad to see $300 go.
Yeah.
I had some car trouble this week too.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
was your week?
Well, started on Sunday, I think
Let's
it
not
was.
get into this whole story yet.
Oh no?
No, I mean it's a lot. You've got a lot to say, right?
I mean, probably.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is just
let's-
introductions.
I'm just doing brief. Hey, how you doing? Becca's alive. Me and Brian thought she might have been eaten by a shark.
She would love that. All she wants is to see a shark.
She'll see
And
it.
As
whether
soon
she
as
wants
we
to or
said
not.
that, she sent me a picture of a gecko, so I knew she was alive at least.
There's baby bunnies in front of our apartment right now.
I've seen them.
Alligators would eat those little cocksuckers.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen one over here on this island.
Gator or bunny?
A gator. Yeah, no. I see those
I haven't seen a
bunnies
gator.
there in the same spot
Yeah, it
every
would
night.
be weird.
It's a gator bunny.
I mean, there is fresh water on one side of us, but
Yeah.
it's a big river, and I don't think alligators usually try to swim across, big flowing rivers like that.
We had a
Probably
gator
not.
that got lost in the port
They're-
not terribly long ago, but it's all saltwater. Like, bitch, you got lost.
Yeah, they ain't supposed to be there. I don't know why. I don't know. Does it hurt a gator to be in salt water? Does it like hurt their skin or maybe their eyes?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's a saltwater, don't they have saltwater crocodiles?
Yeah, but that's a different species.
Those are in
though.
Africa.
No, I think there are saltwater crocodiles in Florida now.
Oh, fuck that. God
There
damn.
are freshwater crocodiles,
Yeah, maybe not the saltwater ones, but yeah, I mean,
not the ones that you find in Africa. Those aren't over here.
It must-
They're different ones.
I guess
I don't
I don't know what is it. Why do alligators or and some crocodiles like the freshwater, and then you got your saltwater crocodiles? Is it just they like the spread? They,
Colors. Like
They like
colors,
that.
man.
the choices of food.
I don't know.
They like the seafood instead of the freshwater food.
I mean, why do some of us choose to live in Tennessee and some of us choose to live in Florida?
Well, I mean, that's an easy choice.
Because we woke, son.
Saltwater people.
Saltwater,
We
yeah,
are.
it's salt life, baby.
Out
Oh
loud.
my God.
Living this out loud.
I see them
Oh,
stickers,
fuck,
man.
man.
I see them. They live in that salt life.
I see them up here. They're living that
I
salt
know.
life.
I saw one on your kitchen table, I think.
Really? Well, it's
That was it was my hat. So
Oh,
when we
okay.
go deep sea fishing, I'll fit right in.
I
Yeah.
love coming down out of my beautiful mountains, driving the windy roads with somebody with a Salt Life fucking sticker on their thing. And they say
Salt
they're
Life.
from here.
yeah. Salt
Imagine
life.
how
What the
much fucking
fuck?
money whoever came up with that made.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't
It's
even
like
have to try very hard to like write the words where they're legible, you know.
They probably didn't get paid much for it. They're probably pretty salty about it.
They,
Oh.
It's like the Calvin and Hobbes pissing on the Ford bumper sticker money. That's what I imagine.
Yeah, that was the only thing that Bill Watterson ever licensed from Calvin and Hobbes was that image. And he said, and he talked about it being a mistake. He's like, I just didn't know that so many people would want a sticker of Calvin pissing on something.
Yeah, and all kinds
no
of
idea.
things now. Like,
Yeah.
you can get a sticker of just Calvin pissing and put whatever you want underneath there.
Yeah. I like praying Calvin, kind of fake Calvin praying in front of the cross.
While he's pissing on a Bible?
It looks slightly off.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah,
No, you're not going to
His-
see
it-
Calvin pissing on a Bible up here. That's
no.
a good way to get your
I thought you were
pickup
doing-
truck vandalized.
Like a Calvin and Hobbes / Piss Christ kind of art mixture.
No, it's just they're taking the meme back. It was never theirs, but they're taking it back. Calvin
ever
doesn't
heard of,
piss on things anymore. He repents now.
Piss Christ? That's something they actually taught us in school. It was some artist that took a jar, put a crucifix in it, and
Yeah.
filled it with urine. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it was all the conservatives were pissed about it. Back what?
See, Dave, that was the window.
I didn't even do that on purpose.
Comes natural to some people.
It's natural. I didn't have to go to clown college. Speaking of clown college, Dave, how you doing?
Ooh.
I'm all right. I'm okay.
Yeah,
Been playing some mobile games this week.
really.
hmm
Streaming those?
Some say those aren't real games. How do you feel about them?
You can stream them. I haven't successfully done it yet for longer than 3 seconds. It'll start grabbing the screen and it'll say yeah, and then it'll say, "Sorry, division by 0 is not possible," and then it closes.
Is it the age of the phone possibly?
Nah, it's my brand new iPad.
Oh.
Ooh.
So I don't. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong, but yeah, I rented a server for Arc for the mobile one, so that was kind of neat. I mean, it was $7, so I won't continue to do that. But that's what I've been. That and I've been playing Civ 6, just on the little mobile
Ooh.
devices.
Sounds fun. Civilization on an iPad sounds pretty good.
It's beautiful.
They've
And
got global
smooth.
warming in Civ 6 too, I hear.
Really?
It might just be the PC version. Yeah, you got to build and keep in mind your ice caps are melting, but no. one
Oh, it's
gives a
way
shit.
on down. I'm so early on.
Oh, you're still Stone Age.
I'm still
making-
banging rocks together.
That is so dumb. So,
It's
That's
a
actually-
nice addition to the game. You know, you still got to maintain your environment. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with it? What's so shitty about
we hit
that?
Industrial Age. We're playing. It's a video game about. I don't know.
What if they do it where like you get to have your industrial age, but then as you start to move into the next phase, then it's got to or like. Well, I guess if you're thinking ahead, then in your industrial age, you might already start doing things to mitigate. You know.
Like you dispense granola to the masses,
Come on, man.
Oh, my
Come
God.
on.
and then you trade. You get some Birkenstocks.
Does anybody ever remember Sim Earth?
Yeah,
I do.
I never
Yeah.
played it, but I
I
do
have
remember it being fun.
I have not found a replica of it, or even itself, and that game was cool because you could do all kinds of stuff with the planet. And
You
I
got
mean,
you got an
it was
emulator,
massive.
right? I can find it for you right now.
When you made the automobile, did polar bears start crying?
I haven't even got that part yet, but the Sim Earth thing was fun because you could, I mean, you could throw shit at the Earth, cataclysmic shit, and I mean, you could basically ruin the planet just by fucking around.
Sounds like
We're doing a great job of that
familiar.
right now. It's humans.
sounds good.
Asteroids here or there.
What's wrong with
Steve-O.
simulated fucking global warming? What's wrong with it? It's a
Yeah,
real,
there can be no global warming.
it's a real thing. So I mean, have a game, have it in there. Maybe it's a little too real life, I guess. But it adds a little extra hard
Isn't that
mode
what you
to
want,
it.
though? Don't you want to kick in the ball?
I'm just happy that I could upset Steve-O just a little bit. That's really the point. Besides that, how are you doing, Steve-O?
Oh man, I'm pretty good. We had a good week.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I'm pretty tired. I played Rocket League for the first time in like 5 days last night. Yes, that's why I didn't want to go wassailing last night, because I was playing Rocket League with Todd.
Todd keeps asking me.
Yeah, pretty good, man. It's hot, man. It's so fucking hot. We finally got the ball rolling. We're gonna get a new AC unit. It's just, it's gonna be hard to get old Mario to pull the trigger.
Did they
But
call
I
you,
have-
Steve-O?
I had to call them,
All right.
but I've got him convinced. He kept saying it's really hot. It's really hot. I'm like, yes, it is really hot. But I have neighbors, and my neighbors say that they get to be comfortable inside their apartment. So
We want to be comfortable.
we want
in
to be
our
comfortable
apartment,
too,
Mario.
and we want to not pay the extra $50 a month that we are paying on our utility. Because I compared utility bills too, and we're paying about $50 more on utilities because our AC is pumping constantly and then still not doing its job. So hopefully within the next week we'll have a new unit. Nobody listening is going to care about that, but we care a lot.
We're pretty fucking stoked, okay? We want that AC. This bitch is at like 78 degrees right now, and I'm on fire.
And it's been pumping since I got home like 3-4 hours ago.
Did you give him a mushroom and he got energized and he grew in size and he was just ready to go?
How'd you know I had mushrooms?
Oh.
But
All right.
Hey Nathan, how are you doing?
Hi, Nathan.
Oh, I'm doing great. I want everybody to check out the newest episode, the newest review from No More Popcorn, where we watch Hell Comes to Frogtown. Everybody needs to see it. It's hilarious. I must say it's my best editing work ever. If you want to see Brian dance the dance of the three snakes to the Toad overlord named Toady, if you want to see that, you need to watch this video. And if you want to see our wrestling promos where we give our final scores to the movie, you need to check out that review.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking sold. Nathan, I have. Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. Nathan, I have a proposition for you.
Okay.
Since the sumo live streams we watch are pirated anyway, you want to just pirate one of those streams and fucking commentate over it?
Pirate the Pirate?
Yeah. They're breaking the law first.
Yeah, we can try. We can look into that.
We'll talk.
Is there some way that we could? Are you only doing horror movies on No More Popcorn?
No.
Because I got some movies I'm going to need you to watch.
Like what, Dave?
Well, now you throw me off. I mean, there was
Watch
one
Akira.
the one that made me ask the question when I was thinking about it earlier today. I've forgotten that since. However, I mean, I'd like you to watch something like "I'ma Get You, Sucker."
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be
Throw Mama
good.
from the train.
Yeah, and
Tyler
I mean,
Perry.
I think it'd be interesting to see what your take on Soul Plane would be, or something like that.
Soul Plane.
Speaking of great movies, today we had an internet order, a carryout order come through, and it had been on the rack for a good 30 or 45 minutes when I noticed that the name on it was Marcus Aurelius.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single person in that store has ever seen Gladiator. So
You're
nobody
about,
else.
to have, you're about to have one more person in there that has also not seen it.
So I was like, wait a minute, guys, did anybody else notice that the name on this order is Marcus Aurelius? And they're like, what? They're like, yeah, it sounds kind of funny, sounds like old school or something. I'm like, well, first of all, it was a real Caesar from back in the Roman days, but it's also the Caesar that is the Caesar at the beginning of the movie Gladiator. And I just
So let me
I
get this
just
straight.
get blank looks, and then notice that one of them had anchovies on it. I said, "That's it. This is a prank order." And I was right. 2 hours later, it still sat there on the heat rack.
That's like the smartest prank ever.
Yeah.
Very astute.
So
I
you're
have
going
Marcus
around to your
Aurelius right
fellow workers and going, "So, do you like Gladiator movies?"
No, I said, guys, this is It says Marcus Aurelius, and everyone's just like, so.
Nathan had that book within arm's reach. Just
That's
for the
right.
podcast.
Yeah,
Marcus
that's a problem.
Aurelius is one of history's true philosopher kings.
Did you
That's
place
a
that
dope
order,
book
Nathan?
cover. Yeah,
Yes,
he might
right.
have. Yeah,
Nathan, did
I'll be there soon. Don't worry, I'm on the way.
All right, let's get into these voicemails that we have been
Voicemail
neglecting
time.
for
Yes.
weeks.
We are very sorry, listeners.
We're sorry. If you want us to apologize to you, call 865-316-6955, and in 4 to 6 weeks, we will read your voicemail.
No, I promise we will be better from now on. We will do them at the top of the show.
Top of the show.
Amazon Prime, right there. You heard it.
All right, here we go. Here's number one.
I work
I
out
love
there at that KFC. That KFC caught fire out there. I'm sorry. I want to let y'all know I was hoping you could plug this in for just a second.
This guy dying on the voice.
This is a great way to start off a serious podcast.
You might have had one of our listeners
Oh.
die.
Is that person
there you go.
okay?
Wait there, he's still there.
We're still alive and well. Just to let you know, all we have available is extra crispy.
Well, there you go.
Something about KFC.
I think he was a
KFC.
KFC employee.
It's clearly the Colonel from Beyond the Grave.
Of course,
I'm glad. I'm very glad we waited for that.
Yeah,
Did we
thank
talk
God.
about KFC at some point?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
I can't imagine we
100%.
did.
100% sure.
Oh yeah,
Well-
I'm not sure. I heard
somebody did bring
KSC.
it.
I thought it was somebody that
KFC.
worked at Kennedy Space Center, but no, it was not.
Steve, you need to find another hobby to balance
Yeah.
out a little bit.
Like fried chicken.
Take up some
Yeah,
ball,
we talk about
Take out
panties
some-
or something.
some
Jesus
ballroom
Christ.
dancing or something. I don't know.
I know what
Okay.
that's from.
You need to go fly a kite or something, bro.
Yeah.
We could do that. Well,
No.
You don't even
Flying a
have to
kite is too close to
aerospace.
up
I
in the
see
air.
it.
Yeah.
Dude,
I see
it
it. I
uses
see it.
aerodynamics. No. We don't need him making
Yeah.
correlations here.
Archaeology, something down to the earth.
You know, flying a kite's a lot like flying a rocket. A lot of
Kites are
people
like
don't.
rockets. Do you notice how the wind hits it and then it goes up and then it goes down and then it goes
Aerodynamics.
It goes
sideways?
to yeah.
You can hear a kite, man, just like you can hear a rocket. Let me tell you, those
We're
rockets
picking
will
on
just
Steve-O.
blow up.
It's fine.
Steve-O needs it every once in a while.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just waiting to hit play on this next voice.
Yeah, let's hear the next one.
All right, here we go.
Hey guys, just calling to say hi. Been listening to all the episodes. Been meaning to call and tell you keeping the good job going. And Steve, I don't know what you did, but you sound much better.
That's
What?
nice.
Well, he totally fucked with all the levels today, so
Yeah,
we're
that's-
back to square one.
Wow.
I think me and Becca almost just cried. We heard Jerry's voice.
Yeah,
Jerry.
Jerry.
Thank you.
We miss
Jerry,
you,
I heard
Jerry.
you're looking to get out of your new job. Why don't you just come back to us, Jerry?
Yeah.
What?
That's what I heard.
Get out of that job?
What I
Why?
heard.
That's what we heard.
Come
I
home,
thought he
Jerry.
loved that job.
We need you, Jerry. We need you. Believe me. we need you.
Yeah, that
He's
was
not coming back because I told him he would come back.
Oh, it's all your
Dave.
fault.
But that's the
never
way
do
it
that.
works. You cannot. You go through a 3-time rotation.
Everybody comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and I was just truthing.
Shit,
I was
I've been
doing.
back like 5 times.
Nathan, check your phone when you get a chance.
Oh, good. Secret message from Brad.
Well,
Secret agent man.
it's needed, but not dwelled on.
You know who sings the best
got
version?
you, man.
You know who sings the best version of Secret Agent Man?
No.
Bruce Willis
Bruce Willis.
on
What
his
movie
CD.
is that in?
He has a
CD.
What
Yeah.
the?
He did news back in the day.
Didn't know that.
What the Die Hard?
You didn't know it? Oh my god, it's such a good thing to listen to like on a sunny day. His album is so good.
What would Die Hard do? Is that what you said?
What the fuck was that?
Bruce Willis?
I
What
love
album?
listening to Bruce Willis on a sunny day.
How
On
long have you
rain-
lived on the beach, Becca, to say that kind of thing?
He's
On rainy
getting to
days,
her.
it's really droll. Not so good.
I prefer Jean-Claude Van Damme's version.
Ooh.
Yeah. He does the splits while he sings it.
He sings Wonderful World. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And he does that.
Movie ace Martin Scorsese. This is
What?
This is him.
This is it.
I'll be
I like
damned.
it. I'll be honest, I like it.
He's still got hair in that picture.
This is Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's hard to recognize because he has hair.
You can jump
It's
to
very
Eddie
80.
Murphy.
No, but he's got the goddamn guitars.
I bet he was still married to Demi Moore when this was on.
This
I
was,
bet this is copyrighted. We need to shut it off
Yep.
right now or keep talking over it.
we got to talk over it.
Yeah.
See, what-
All it means is that they'll put a claim on it and they'll get all the vast sums of money we're making off of this video.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's it.
We'll cut you a check tomorrow, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, this. Oh, wait. Actually, this.
Do you know?
Supposedly was published by Bruce Willis himself, but
Oh,
he has 18 subscribers, so I tend to question
probably
that it's
not.
really Bruce Willis that posted this.
Do you know he's a notorious asshole and everybody hates working with him?
Really?
Oh no.
Kevin Smith talked about that when he did the
Even
movie.
Stallone on Twitter, because you know he was in a couple of the Expendables movies. He was in the first two, and Stallone even called him out and just said, basically, he hated working with him, and he was so happy to have Mel Gibson for the third movie.
Wow.
He totally
Wow.
shit on him,
That's
and then said
awesome.
he preferred Mel Gibson, who all of Hollywood hates. I mean, everybody.
Right?
Everybody loves to hate Mel. I mean, I don't. I fucking love Mel Gibson.
Me
I love
too.
him. He's a legend.
Yeah.
But everybody loves shit on Mel Gibson. And Stallone's just like, fuck Bruce Willis. I love Mel Gibson. He was so professional. He was so fun to work with. Complete opposite of Bruce Willis.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, and it's based on nothing really. But yeah, I could totally see him being. I mean, he's Die Hard, bro. Do you know who he is?
wanted
Who
to
he
keep
once
his
was?
music career alive, and he couldn't, so he had to go to acting.
That's like
That's
the
why
dude from Harry Potter saying, I'm the dude from Harry Potter.
Well, he is everything. I know that sucks to say, but everything I ever see him in after he's Harry Potter, it was he was such an iconic figure for his first role.
Yeah.
I don't think, to me anyway, he's never broken out of that.
I hope he saved some Harry Potter money.
He just has to. He needs to get older and change how he looks, and he gets old enough to change how he looks and sounds a little bit, and then do some.
He tried. He tried to grow facial hair and get a different haircut, but
He's
it's
still too young. Yeah, he's just still too young, I guess.
I watched, or actually, Rochelle and I tried to watch a new series he was in, and it was painful to watch. It was, I don't freaking know.
Was it the one where he's like working for the devil or some shit?
No,
on
he's working with.
TBS?
It is
He's a
on TBS,
doctor.
but he's not working for the devil. He's working for God, which what's his name?
Depending on your definition.
Buscemi, was it Steve Buscemi? Is God?
The most
Oh,
handsome
cool.
actor in all of Hollywood, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't bad in concept, but it just took too long, and it became not funny.
Oh, was
So-
it comedy?
This was allegedly.
Becca, I want to hear about.
Becca time.
Yeah, I haven't heard any details about how Becca's week has been. Not a single goddamn thing. So
No, you knew about the gecko.
I did see the gecko, but I want to
Big
hear
part.
how Becca's week has been. Her first almost full week in Florida. Her
Take
trip
us back to North Carolina.
going on. I want to hear it all.
Okay. So we get on the road. I expected that when I left, that was going to be when it hit me that I was leaving, when I finally got into the car and shut the door and started driving by myself. But it still hasn't hit me, even though I'm here, I thought I was going to cry, when I got into my car and started driving, but it didn't happen. So we get to 40 East. We're going to take the coastal route to go closer to Savannah rather than going through Atlanta. And we get to the first exit that we're going to take off of Interstate 40, which is 26 East, which is going to take us through North Carolina and South Carolina. And getting onto the exit for I-26 East, I switch into the lane for the exit. It's got about a mile before we get to the exit, and the traffic is slowing down in front of me. So I slow down. I look behind me. The truck, the huge fucking truck behind me, was not slowing down, and he had to swerve so hard away from my car that he went completely off the highway. And then
You're talking
5 minutes.
dust throwing up. He's
It
in
was
the grass.
it was a hard swerve. And then
We're talking about an 18-wheeler?
No. It was like a Dodge Ram, like a really, really big
pickup truck.
Like a
With
dually.
Calvin and Hobbes piston on the Ford. I got
Yes.
you.
Yeah. So 5 minutes later, the exit is actually here and the traffic is completely stopped. So I stop and I look behind me, and the girl behind me stops. And then I look behind her, and there's that truck, and he did not stop this time.
Motherfucker not paying attention.
Still not clear how he got behind you again after he already had to swerve off the road to not hit you the first time.
He probably just stopped and then just merged back in when he had a chance. Yeah.
So he hit the car behind me, and he had to have been going like minimum 60, had to have been. Ooh. And I looked and I was like, oh fuck. And then it hit me, and I didn't realize really for a second what had happened. And then I looked.
She hit you, the car.
Yeah. She got pushed into me.
Okay.
And I finally realized what had happened, and I got out of the car and I walked back and I look at the back of my car. There's a dent, a fairly small dent in my back bumper. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, well, it must not have hit me that hard, because I still don't even remember the impact, and I thought it couldn't have hit me that hard. And talked to the chick behind me. She had just bought her car. She was literally driving it back.
Oh my God.
Oof. Oof.
And I look at the truck, and he's got no damage. It's
those
pristine.
Big trucks, they just don't take damage.
It's pristine. I look at her trunk. It is completely smashed in. You can see the inside of the trunk all the way, like it's smashed all the way to it. And it was completely ruined. And
well, it's like I always say, if you almost hit somebody because you're texting and driving, stay the course.
It's almost like I say, big trucks, no fucks.
Continue texting and driving. That way you can finish the job the next time. It's obviously what was going on.
What did the truck guy say? Did he have anything to say?
Yeah, what does he have to say for himself?
Well,
I'm just real sorry, everybody. I was just messing with my radio.
My bad, LOL.
Y'all seen that new Keith Urban video?
Keith Urban.
Is that still relevant?
I was just watching it.
Yeah, right. He is still rolling.
Wow.
No, the best part of the story is that my friends that were with me driving the moving truck were behind him, and they saw him on his phone.
Yeah,
he was holding his phone up,
and he had a hat on, right? And you could see the motion of his hat doing the.
Said Salt Life.
The hat you could see, yeah. And when I got to him, I went immediately, because I keep a notebook and pen on me at all times. So I ran right up to the chick that was behind me, and I got her phone number and name, and then I walked back there to him, and he had to have been fucked up, because he was like, oh man, I'm sorry.
It's
For
pretty
the
early
listeners,
in the
what
day,
time of day
too,
was
yeah.
this?
Yeah, it was like 1:30 p.m. and
Wow.
but he was a frat guy. He was an older frat guy, like he's been out of college for 10 years maybe, but still a frat guy.
Polo
Oh.
shirt, but still paying into the frat.
Yeah.
So funny.
And his name was something like Parker, you know.
Oh God.
And I looked him up, and he owns a business in Knoxville.
Oh.
Him and
Really?
his family own a business in Knoxville. So
Make
if
sure
I
to
don't get,
leave him a Google review.
well, I'm just gonna say if I don't get my shit paid for from where that fucked up my car, I know where to go.
Yeah.
So
And my
you didn't
neck
wait.
hurts.
It's all that.
You didn't wait for the cop or anything. You just left.
Yeah, I just took off because I had Bowie in the car, and we were already running kind of behind as it was for time, and it ended up being a 14-hour trip. So
Seems like he could just
About
say,
right.
I don't know what they're talking about. I
No,
don't
no,
have a
he,
mu-
you would
he
call-
clearly admitted fault.
You would talk to the police.
Yeah,
and
I
they
called
said,
the cops
yeah, as long
myself.
as you're okay, then you can go on.
You
Well-
but I just mean, is there any record that he actually did it? That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
Like,
there's a police report. I'm getting it next week.
oh, okay.
But when I called, I didn't want to call 911, so Joseph looked up the dispatch for Asheville or whatever, and I called them, and I said, "Hey, so I was just involved in an accident on the interstate, and I don't have really any damage that will hinder me from leaving, and I've got a cat in the car, and I was wondering if it was okay if I just left." And she said, "No, that would be considered a hit and run." I was like, "No, I
No,
didn't
it's
hit anybody."
not. No, it is not.
I was
Bitch,
hit.
excuse me. You think I looked up this number just to tell you I incriminated myself? Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here.
And then asked you if I could leave. Like, why would
Oh,
I?
can I
even?
leave? I got a cat in the car. You understand, right?
Yeah. So I just got everybody's information, and she said that if they said it was okay that I left, that I could leave, and they both said it was okay, so I left.
Well, that was nice of her.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
for them too, but whatever.
Yeah, my car tore up, I didn't want to call 911. I called dispatch just to say, hey, I'm out here on Alcoa Highway. I want to make sure you guys know I'm fine, but I need a car or somebody come out here. I'm in a bad place. They went, you need to call 911.
Really?
It's not really an emergency. I was trying to be respectful of that. You need to call 911. I mean, everything's fine. Just call 911.
Oh,
Okay.
man, aren't they busy enough?
So I call 911 to tell them that, hey, I'm broke down on the side of the road in a precarious situation.
And they send out a fire truck.
I mean, they sent out a cop. I mean, but still, I mean, that's just, I was trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
It's like Becca.
Call the non-emergency line.
Did you ever call 911 from a payphone when you were a kid?
Yes, I did.
We used to do that. We did it a couple times.
And then just run away.
Then I was immediately trying to convince my parents, "Hey, we need to leave now."
And then watch the cop roll by.
But it was
Looking
back before
around,
cameras
looking.
existed in churches, so Hey, we're calling 911. 911's emergency. Click.
You just incriminated
Hey, we got to
yourself.
scatter. Scatter.
So Becca, you survived. You survived your drive.
I survived the drive, and
You made it down. So
yes,
14
and
hours.
so we originally had planned to leave on Sunday from home and stay overnight in Savannah, and then make the rest of the trip on Monday. Get here Monday. Now we planned that a month ago or so, and so I went ahead and booked the Power and Light company to get me set up, and I booked it for the 1st because that was the day I was going to be here. And then we realized that we had Bowie, the cat, and we couldn't stay in a hotel, so we just drove straight and got to my apartment at 1:00 in the morning or so, and realized we didn't have power until the next day because we had planned to be there the second day, and it was real hot.
I was gonna say it's gotta be.
Yeah, it's 80 degrees at night.
It was really, really hot in here, so threw my cat in, locked the door, and left.
Sorry, Bowie.
Cats like
That's right.
to eat. But luckily, I've got some friends in town that had a couch I could crash on for the night. So
So your moving helpers, you just let them sleep on the beach under an overpass or something?
I slept in the U-Haul.
They got what
No.
they deserve.
they had some points for a hotel room or something, so they stayed in a hotel room for the first night. So then the next day we were going to unload the truck, and me and Brad and Steve-O went wassailing, and it was a very late excursion. And me and Brad got about 2 hours of sleep and had to get up and go unload the moving truck. And Steve-O had something
Even
to
less.
take pictures of.
Yeah.
Was that and
It was just it was an empty drone ship coming back where they missed the landing on the Falcon
Right.
Heavy or whatever, but
That's
still.
his code for dick pics.
Yeah, that's right.
So Steve-O had that to go do and take pictures of, and he said he'd come and help as soon as he got done. And he showed up right when it was time to take the U-Haul back
Yep.
because we had got it all unloaded.
I'll just love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah,
Right.
it worked out great for him. But man, me, Brad, Lauren, and Joseph, we knocked it out in about an hour or so.
When I pulled up, I saw the truck sitting there, and I was like, "All right, okay." So, and the door was shut and on it, and I was like, "All right, so we're probably about ready to get started." I walk in the door, and like everything's in there. I'm like, "Oh, this is great."
I didn't mean to be grumpy, but I was just literally like, I'm going to move this now and be like, guys, sorry, I'm quiet, I'm grumpy, I'm going to go home and nap. We'll talk later. We'll be friends later. But
No, we got it. I understood.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, your shit's in the apartment, right?
Yeah, everything's in here. And
Great. Then my job's done. Bounce. Bye.
thank you very much for your help.
Organizing is all up to you.
Oh no. Oh man, that's the part that I'm most excited about, because when I got here and I saw the apartment, it was a lot smaller than I had seen it in my head. And I have so much shit. I have a lot of shit. And I even went through and threw a lot of stuff away, got rid of a lot of stuff, tried to sell some stuff. And we got everything in here, and it was just so overwhelming because I had just no vision of what I could do with all of this stuff. And I am so lucky that Lauren is here because she is great at that. And so she's got like she's put shelves in places that I never would have thought to put, and she's got like carts on wheels that she's putting under countertops that I can put more things in. Like she's making this like a tiny home, you know. She's getting me all set up, and we've got curtains that everything matches, and it is just so cozy. It's so perfect. Like I'm really happy. I thought that I was going to be unhappy the first two days I was in this apartment. I thought this is going to make me really upset for the next year. And now it's been 4 days, and I'm really happy. Even though there are a shit ton of bugs in here, and it's a lot of like little teeny tiny ants because there's a hole under my door, but I just spray like vinegar on them and they stop. But there's a lot of lizards in here too.
Yeah.
A lot. We've seen like 6 so far.
Just leave them.
Bitch,
They
what?
will.
They're
They'll
gonna
eat
be
the
pest
bugs.
control,
they're gonna be
man.
bugs.
Definitely,
Yes.
Actually, yeah, leave the lizards. My rule is if it has more than 4 legs, destroy with extreme. What the fuck is the
Prejudice.
term?
Prejudice?
Yeah. Yeah, if it
used
has more than 4 legs, destroy with extreme prejudice. That
Yeah,
is
I mean,
my
I think
rule.
I've mentioned before. Used to have a buddy had an underground home, and his idea of pest control was going to the pet store and buying 6 geckos and just letting them run loose in his house.
Get loose, you cute little killers.
Yep.
Dave, did you say underground home?
That's correct.
You
Well, of
lived in a
course, he's
hobbit
friends
hole?
with. Well, of course, whoever Dave's friends with is.
It was the coolest
friends with the
place
water.
ever. I mean, he doesn't live there now. He moved. He had to move. He grew up and got a family, but it was a nice.
I remember there
super,
being
very Nathan, very Nathan-y.
I remember an underground house up there in Maryville somewhere, or Louisville. Or,
Oh no, man, this was Athens.
Yeah, there's one in Maryville.
yeah, there is one in
Yeah.
Maryville.
You take pizza and just throw it in the bunker.
Yeah, just drop it down the chimney.
I want a hobbit hole. It'd be
Slide
awesome.
that money.
I mean,
through
that's
the
what it
mailbox
was.
hole.
It was a round dome. It was built into the side of a hill, and it had a domed roof.
Yeah.
And he's a huge reptile fan, so he had a whole snake room in there for his boas.
Yeah, lizards get a pass around here for sure.
But
Oh,
I mean,
most
that was
of.
when he was single. He's got 2 kids now. He's married. He's got a home somewhere else.
Above ground?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure his wife would not let that happen. But he was the
Living that
friend that
above
taught me
ground life,
boundaries.
Two boundaries.
Wait.
Man, he
what?
was
What do you
shit.
mean by that?
Dave put his hand on his thigh that one night.
He
Taught him
said
boundaries.
when to be his friend, you had to fit into this paradigm. And yeah, I mean, I'm digressing, but he was the guy that said, "Do not call me after 10 o'clock. I will get very angry."
Oh.
Okay,
Oh.
I can do that.
Dave does understand boundaries. He understands man boundaries. He's like, if you're pissed off, if I'm pissed off and I'm clearly not wanting to talk, guess what? Dave doesn't talk to me.
Yeah.
And if I see
Well, I'll
Dave,
say something to you, and I'll
That's
go,
I mean, you won't-
recognizing like body.
but I mean,
behavior,
you won't be
though.
like, hey, how you doing? You know, I'm not doing great. Listen,
I don't
I
want to
hate
change your
random
mood.
how you doing questions.
Yeah.
But I also, when I see Dave is pissed too, I'll just leave him alone. Usually I can tell. Sometimes I can't, but yeah.
Apparently, everybody says my mouth gets small.
Yeah,
He
Dave's like,
gets small mouth syndrome.
You got
when
a
he's
small
angry.
mouth, Dave. I ain't talking to you. I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, I get called at, "Why's your mouth small? What's wrong with you?"
That is a thing I said to Dave.
Yes.
Almost every day, though, is the thing.
Well, that's it. Yeah, every day. Why's
Your mouth
small?
looks like a sphincter. You must be in a bad mood.
You're playing the tiny mouth game. I know something's wrong.
I'm puckering up.
so Becca, you had some good beach time, some sun. Get out there.
Not yet. No,
Not
I haven't.
yet.
Listen,
I've been over
What's
there.
right
I've just
there?
every time I
The
go
water's
up
right there.
up and down Ridgewood and I go by South Azure and I look down the road and I may or may not see your car, and if the car's there, I'm like, oh, okay, well they're at the house. Oh, they must be out there at the beach. They must.
She's
be.
got the fucking easiest to identify car in town, man. I thought your Prius
Yeah.
was enough. No, the fuck it's not.
Yeah.
Becca saw
Yeah,
me today
I
waving.
passed Brad today on the road.
Oh.
I
Did you
took the
fist
smart
bump him?
route through traffic.
Mhm.
No, you got to make sure that they're looking for your car too. Which my car is the average old person white car of Florida.
It's the gold.
which is cool.
It's the gold Camry that's not quite gold. It's like
Yeah.
almost.
The tarnished gold
Yeah.
Camry.
That's why I made sure to like point at you and be like, hey, point, wave, It's a weird thing where you get super excited that you saw your friend in traffic.
Yeah, like
No,
I made a point to tell Brad the other day, like, hey, I saw you at that intersection by Cocoa Beach Pier. Like,
I think I told you I was pissed off because some dude couldn't turn right because some retard.
yeah,
wouldn't
and I
pull up
remembered.
front.
Yeah, somebody was trying to turn into the pier, which it gets real backed up there, and they just blocked the entire intersection until they could pull forward. They just pulled right out into the intersection. Just
Then you
sitting
got
there.
people strutting around like, oh, it's a crosswalk. Well, fuck you. I'm just going to walk as slow as I fucking can.
Mm-hmm.
See, now that bothers me.
I gave somebody.
I
I mean,
will
it bothers
stop.
me, but also I have to remind myself that I live on the beach and people ain't from around here. And
Well,
it's a grounding exercise, but it's still infuriating.
I think it's a duality of purpose. I think I have the duty to stop so that you can cross,
Right.
but you have the duty to giddy it up
And
along.
put some amp in your step.
But
Yeah.
when
Pep
you
in your
see me
step.
stop and
right.
you make eye contact with me, and I can visually, I can see you slow down your gait
Yeah.
because I have no idea why you're doing that, but I've seen folk do that. It's like, okay, I stopped. Now wait a minute, I stopped. Why are you punishing me? Why don't you just pick it up a little bit? Hey, you don't have a walker. Go.
I had
Speed up that
somebody
waddle.
was
You-
crossing in front of me yesterday, and they were walking their dog, and he had no crosswalk, but it's on Ridgewood, which is there's just a lot of condos on both sides. People are always on their bikes or running or whatever and crossing and stuff. So you do kind of have to look out for it. And he had plenty of time. Like I was I don't know 2/10 of a mile from being on him. And he went ahead and walked, and it was fine. And I did have to let off the gas, but not a big deal. But he had this dog in tow, and usually dogs are leading, but this was, I guess, a well-behaved dog, and it was actually well behind him. And he's just slowly making his way across. And so finally, when I make it to him, and I have to slow down, I have to hit the brakes, and I give him a toot toot, and he turns and looks and
Give him a toot.
and
Oh.
and he looks at me, and I do this motion, the hurry up motion. and then he just like mean mugs me as I pass by, and I'm like, what are you doing? Come on, I am a car. I'm in a car, man.
I have horsepower.
Get going. You know, and it was a
Should have run
example.
his dog over.
Well, it was a big ass dog, and I didn't want to do that.
Well, I had a family walk out in the road in front of me today down in downtown, but like when you were getting out of downtown, so it was just regular ass road.
Yep,
There
they'll
was
do
no
that.
crosswalk or anything.
They
He
think
went kid first. He pushed the fucking kid out into the street first, and I had to slam on my brakes.
and they mean mug you. They think it's like in Gatlinburg. The rule is you can step out into traffic anytime, which I do think is bullshit. Yeah, I don't think you should ever have that be okay.
That shit don't fly here, by the way. Laws are different everywhere.
Yeah, you have crosswalks, and we even have some crosswalks where you got to hit the button. Some lights are going to flash to make people stop, and then you go. But people just assume that anywhere along A1A, you can just step out into traffic and start going. And,
nah, bitch, I'm honking. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, yeah, I've just laid on the horn for an entire family. They just kind of moseying across the road, and traffic was coming. And then they're all like, whoa, what the fuck? Oh, man, fucking get going.
I'm a pedestrian, and I have all the rights of the way.
Describe the ethnicity of this family.
I won't do it.
I know you won't. That's why we'll talk about it later. But I
very white.
Yeah,
I didn't notice. I don't see colors.
Becca, yeah.
I don't see through that lens.
Anything else? I want any other details for the show.
Speaking of details, the first night we went wassailing, or maybe the night after, I'm not sure, whichever, the second, did we go 2 nights? Well, anyway, the night that I was sitting in the sand.
Second night.
I will not do that again.
Beatles.
Yeah, never.
Because
chiggers.
Okay,
yeah, you live here or what?
If I'm sitting in my recliner and I have my leg propped up, from just what I can see from like my knee to my ankle, there are 48 on one leg.
Yeah.
Remember that night when we were down there that one night, and I was incredibly drunk sitting in the sand when we were out really late?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I just covered. My ass to my ankles in those things,
and they only go up to about like knee height. So if you're standing, then you're not going to get it too bad. But I mean, if you're sitting in the sand and you're rustling the sand around,
it was so. I was in the sand. I was playing in it. I was making triforces. And stuff.
I was standing there watching you. Like, does she not understand? Like on so
Why
many
didn't you
levels.
Tell me?
Well, I wasn't even.
Look, we need you to learn for yourself.
I wasn't really.
It's not just like you move to the beach and all of a sudden you can say, "Oh, I'm local. Fuck you."
You'll learn the hard lesson.
For me, it's more like I try to keep the sand off my hands because I may need to do things like rub my eyes or something, and so I just try to. I mean, I wear shoes to the beach, yo. I don't fuck around with fucking. I mean, if we're going day wassailing, I wear the flip flops, but for the most part,
I might have to change.
Daytime is okay though. I think
is better.
Yeah, I don't know.
Daytime's easy.
Well, it was the bugs only happen at night. I don't know what those, if they are chiggers.
They're sand fleas.
Sand fleas are
you can
huge.
see, sand fleas you use for bait.
Yeah, they're like little, you dig down in the sand that's in the surf, and they're like nasty looking.
So are these real chiggers?
Crab fleas. I don't know if they're chiggers, but it felt like chiggers. That's, the itch and the persistence of it is like that.
Or no
seams.
It could be no seams.
Misery. It is misery because I was wearing a bathing suit and a dress, and like I was sitting in the sand. It is my entire legs from top to bottom are covered in this shit, and it is so itchy. It's really bad. So I'm gonna have to be more diligent with my bug spray and not sitting in the sand at night. But other than that, I think I'm doing fine so far. Found a bunch of places. Didn't turn any wrong roads or anything. I haven't done anything stupid. Got the ball rolling at my job. Happy about that.
Got the job going. That's good.
Yep.
You're at where Steve-O's at.
Yeah.
Yep.
And apparently they like each other. I got word from the manager. She's like, I really like her.
That's good.
I was like, I knew you would.
Hard for women to like each other, so that's good.
Well, I told my mom that I said I hope she likes me, and I I think I told her when you told me that she liked me. I said that my new boss likes me. She said, "How could anyone not like you?" I'm like, shut up, Mom.
That's a mommy response.
Yeah, it's very possible.
But she took
have
an
you-
extra 3 days to get the paperwork signed, so we'll see if she gets to start next weekend.
You are rude. I had so much on my plate.
I know. Yeah, she had to wait around for like maintenance people and shit, so it's fine.
You start to look up local massage parlors yet?
Oh no, I don't even need to. I
I
can
just-
smell them
Coconut
because
Spa is right there.
You can
I
smell
mean,
them.
they're literally right next door
Smell-
from where you work.
Smells like suntan lotion and vagina.
no, I was lucky enough to already have gone to a place here to get a
Oh.
massage when I was here last year in September, and it is just a couple blocks from my apartment, and it's a nice place.
About the same distance as Jump's Tiny Tavern.
Yeah, it's about right there, and the little OJ store, my favorite place.
Becca's gonna go in there and just tear it up at Jump's Tiny Tavern, because every time I deliver there, it's just, your 50, 60 something alcoholics that spend all day at the bar, and
Sounds like Becca's crowd.
guys and girls, not just
there.
not just guys, but
I had found myself on the occasion the other day to be at Shooter's Bar in the early morning.
Yeah.
During an early time of day.
and they're pretty. There's nobody in there at that time, I'm sure.
No, there are people,
No,
and I
no,
used to
dude.
be one of them.
No, dude, they are there. I saw a guy there drinking his beer with his biscuits and gravy.
Hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean,
Sounds like
I
my
mean,
kind of place
it's-
right
I'm-
there.
The only way to
I
wash
looked at him and I went,
Yeah.
"Man, you got a plan for the day."
They got biscuits
And he
and
went-
gravy there?
No,
you
they
know
don't.
it. No,
bring your
he
own
had
food.
Hardee's. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
telling you, and drinking was so important to him that he decided to pick up biscuits and gravy on his way to the drinking place.
Well, no, it's third shift workers. So if they get off work early in the morning, they go get their breakfast and then they go drink. It's like their
That's
nighttime.
a dinner.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I do not know what job this gentleman would have worked at dressed as he were.
that
What
was
was
he
he wearing?
Dressed like
Like
yeah.
like some kind of corporate gig, right?
top hat on. He's got
I mean,
He's
he
a
looked
bank
like the guy
teller
from
looking for a
Monopoly.
dick to suck. That's all he is, man.
no. That's a back parking lot of Shooters. Yeah.
You think that ain't real? That's real. That's real.
You've
I
been
just
hanging
thought it
out a
was
lot at
strange.
Shooters, Nathan.
Me and Brian were there this was a few weeks ago, and there's that girl that pretty sure is homeless that hangs out there. She's in the back porch all the time.
Hmm.
It was like 2 a.m. and she comes in, me and Brian and some dude that just moved from California, and he just talked nonstop. And he was this guy that's like, I just came to this small town to see what real people are like. And he's just, you know what I mean?
Oh my damn!
I want to get down with the common people.
Oh, I think you
he's just
talked about
asking-
this.
He's just asking us constantly questions. We talked to this guy for like this was a Monday night.
He's just so interested in your common.
Tell me more about
everyday
this
life.
entitled asshole.
Oh, I want to mingle with the commoners.
All right, yeah.
I mean, he was a nice guy. He just
Oh.
Nathan
Whoa.
turned into
Oh,
a
he's
robot.
back.
yeah,
Nathan's
he's
a
just
robot.
asking us questions about everything. Yeah, I know. I'm adjusting.
I mean,
here we
if
go.
you lived on the beach, maybe you'd have better internet. I'm just saying, you know.
No, well, I don't.
You got to be
Fucking
OG.
problems with
You're
it.
doing just
My
fine.
Wi-Fi sucks.
Well,
But yeah,
that has to do with your router.
anyway, yeah, we're talking to this guy all night. He's just asking us questions about where to go, where to eat, where can he see music. He just nonstop talking. And the whole time, there's an old lady that's one of the bartenders there. I call her Mamal. I think her name is Regina.
Virginia.
But
Meet
she
Virginia.
she just kept looking at me, rolling her eyes every time we say something. It was so funny. But while we were talking to him, this other girl comes in because she would sit on the back porch and she's on her computer the whole time. She comes in, she's just like, She's like, there are these two people back there in the car, and they have been fucking for hours. That woman is so loud, I can't concentrate.
I have
Are the
not
windows
looked.
rolled up or the windows rolled down? Because that's an important thing for me to ask.
I don't know, but I just said, wow, hours. This guy's making this woman scream for hours.
Hours.
That's some cardio.
That's good.
I need a
Gotta
break.
go study his methods.
Yeah.
What's he got? What's he doing?
You got to work up to it. That's all you got to do.
Anyway, that's a story.
There
She
you go.
just sat in there with us and complained about them every 10 minutes.
They're back there
That's
fucking.
it. That's that bar.
I can't go out on that back
Fucking
porch and get that free laundromat internet.
For all them fucking.
If you're fucking, you're not really watching that. I don't know. Never mind. I'm sorry. Becca, you live on the beach.
Yep, here I am. I'm
I
so
mean,
happy.
I don't feel that you've actually had time to acclimate to life by
Nope,
yourself on the beach.
I have not.
Well, you'll get that soon. First impressions, they're lasting, I hear.
First impressions?
Well, you live in a new
I mean,
place.
it's not like you've never
even though-
been here, so it's probably going to take a while for you to like get into. I don't know.
Living mode.
Start to absorb like what it's like to really be here for a long period of time because you've only been here for vacations,
Right,
you
and
know?
that's
and
it
now
still feels
you
like
haven't even been here a full week, so yeah.
You're still in vacation mode.
Yeah,
I get it because I did the same thing.
Once you start start working, it'll start to feel, and you're gonna start to really know the town well. Like you're gonna know all the little nooks and crannies. Like I always talk about, like why I love my job. Like I know all these little. You get to go in these condos and hotels and businesses and stuff that otherwise you'd never go in, and it's kind of neat. You get to go on the top floor of the tallest condo just because they happen to order pizza, and then I mentioned, I appreciate you guys ordering. I've never been up here to the top floor. Oh, do you want to come and look out the back? Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
it's magical.
Yeah.
Piss off.
Then they club you over the head. You wake up 2 days later wrapped in a tarp on a
No,
beach.
people with clubs don't get to live or vacation in nice condos like that. Not these condos.
Well, what if they're part of what if it's like a fucking sex cult? And they just want to rape you for a night, and then they'll drug you, rape you, and then dump you somewhere.
Can't
rich
rape the
people-
willing.
Rich people could commit crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's that whole ass branding cult there,
The NXVM, whatever. Yeah, that was fucking crazy. Sex cult, the Hollywood
Wake
sex
up.
cult.
Oh,
Your butt
yeah.
hurts,
Remember
and you
that.
got no answers.
Well, I still do feel like I'm on vacation because my friends are still here, the people that helped me move, and I haven't been working, so we've been going around town and doing touristy kind of things and shopping, and we've done a lot of work in the apartment too, and that's taken up a lot of the time. So we haven't gone to the beach. There are members of the party that do not want to get in the sun at that time of day.
Yeah.
So that'll
It's
be
fucking hot. Yeah, I don't blame them.
that'll be what I'm doing when it is just me here.
Yeah.
Because I'll still have several days off of work before I have to go. So I'll still have plenty of time to
Think of it that's you time, and you need to treat it with the reverence that it's because you need you time.
I prefer the beach in the early morning and twilight.
Yes.
Mhm.
The early morning is the best
even
time.
on vacation, as many times as we've been to the beach, I've had to go during the day and just went, this sucks.
Yeah.
Why are we here? Can we not?
It's awesome, but I've never got to really enjoy it because I've just made a series of shitty decisions that has led me to seeing Twilight on the beach, which sounds like its own fun part, but
You've seen Twilight the movie on the beach?
It's a lot of
jerked
shit.
off to it too. Yeah, you want to judge me?
Yeah,
Nah.
most of the times that I've been on the beach and seen the sun come up, it's been like, oh shit, I am too drunk to.
We
be
gotta
out
go
here.
now.
We would
gotta
always-
work in the morning. We work. We live here. We work here. We have
Like,
jobs.
I look
we gotta
homeless right
go.
now. I should probably get off the beach.
It's always more enjoyable when we would rent a home on the beach,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then that had a pool, and then during the day you swim at the pool at your rented home, and then you either go to the beach for an early morning excursion or for an after dinner trip. But
That
I'd
middle
rather
of
be
the
able
day
to
shit is for the birds.
for the birds.
I've done
Well,
it, man.
just call me a bird because that's where I'll be.
Steve-O, that when you have your backpack full of beer, you also should have like running shorts in there and a tank top, and then
Yeah.
you're there till morning. You just you switch out to your running clothes, and then they won't think you're publicly drunk. They'll just think you're jogging.
Yeah,
Yeah,
while
but
you're
people that
walking
wear
home.
those clothes have energy, and
But-
that's not what we
No,
have.
no,
at
no,
that
no,
point
no,
in
no,
life.
no.
As car comes by, you just start stretching.
Yeah.
No, I have it. You walk back home, you pour a little water on the tank top so it looks like you're sweating, and you just every once in a while you stop and hunch over and like breathe like you just finished your run.
Yeah.
Like you've already
he's
so you're
still-
walking home exhausted.
That's a
He's still
deliberate
carrying
pour
a
of water
backpack. He
because if
looks
it's in the
homeless.
wrong spots.
He's got a backpack of beer, and they don't know it's beer, and then he still looks homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Valid
Backpack
point.
on a beach
Yeah.
screams homeless.
Yeah. it
Backpack,
does.
backpack. If you're jogging on the street, you could be trained. You're just training. You got it weighted. You got some.
That's not what I
Yeah,
was
that's
the
thinking
first
when I
thing
saw
that comes to
man.
anybody's
I'll
mind.
tell
That's
you
the
right now,
first
it's
thing.
not what I. No, it's not.
I'm looking. Where's your cardboard sign that will work for food?
Or maybe just get a sign that says "I have a home" and carry that with you.
No, you need a funny sign that says it was either the dog or the wife, and now I'm here. That's what you need.
Perfect.
Steve-O, you have an update, some kind of some quick
Yeah.
space.
Well, one of the things Becca got to experience in her first week here is a rocket launch, and it was a very odd rocket launch. It wasn't your typical, hey, we're sending a satellite into space to orbit the Earth or anything like that. This was actually a test of the Orion spacecraft that NASA's been building for some time now, but with the new drive to get to the moon by 2024, they're kicking things into high gear. So what they did is they tested out their abort capability. Like let's say a rocket is launching, and it would be the SLS, the big thing that's basically derived from old shuttle stuff. Much safer because we put the capsule on top instead of having the shuttle on the side of the fuel tank, which has a lot to do with why the Challenger and Columbia both were destroyed.
You can't see me jerking off in the
I saw it.
stream, but
Okay.
So anyway, so they wanted to test out their abort capabilities, make sure that they would be able to get astronauts safely away from an exploding rocket if that were to happen.
Mhm.
So we all congregated on the beach pre 7 o'clock. Some of us barely made it. Some of us didn't make it.
that's me.
So here, oh wait, let me. I'm gonna share because I figured out that I can share now. Hide that. All right, so here it is launching. So you can see that this is a short, stubby little thing, right?
Yeah.
You've
That's
got
your picture.
For the record,
this
yeah,
is mine.
that's a short, stubby little thing.
Is
I
that
will
really your
check that.
picture?
That looks cool.
Yeah, this is my picture. Yeah.
Space Ghost
Dude,
Steve, you're
that's-
talking to, man. Have some
No,
respect.
Fuck, man.
I'm really proud of the pictures that I got for this one. I like.
Yeah,
That's a great picture.
Oh, just wait.
I'll
dude,
tell you
just
this:
wait. Hold that load.
Did you use hand warmers for this?
No, I didn't need them. I had them with me, but I didn't need them. I made sure. But
listeners, I'm telling these listeners, if you're listening and not watching Mixer, you need to go back and check these pictures out. You're missing everything.
Hold that load because the good shit's coming.
yeah, the good shit is coming. But I'll say this: that being able to do the remote camera launch pad thing, that helped a lot. It helped me dial in the settings that are appropriate for something like this. So anyway, this is it launching. And the way it's going to work is you see that there's this like little tower on the top. And for the ones just listening to audio, if you kind of picture like the old school Apollo, they always had like this point.
It looks like
this-
Steve-O. It looks
Looks
like
like
a
a wine
pregnancy test,
Oh.
or
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna like how this one
Tampon.
turns out.
So
Take it away.
there's the capsule, and then it's got the abort tower that it's the tower that comes off the tip, and it's like a point that's coming out, but it also covers up the capsule itself. And then underneath there, it's like a rocket, but it's like a quarter of the size. It's like an M80 for a rocket.
So, guys, think about rockets like this. Rocket science is not that hard, believe it or not. Believe it or not.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Well, parts of rocket science. So you have the basic construction of a rocket where it is the shit you want to be in space, the shit that's going to get you in space, and all the shit in between those two. So right here, Steve-O, go ahead and circle with your mouse.
Yeah.
Circle that tip of that rocket.
Oh, the tip, yeah.
Right there. That's the part to help the part that's underneath get the fuck out of there.
These things here, these are little ports. This is a solid rocket motor on the tip of it, and if there's any trouble, then it's going to fire. But they have these ports that are coming out to shoot down, so that it's going to pull this capsule away from an exploding rocket if this were to explode.
The shit on top protects the shit on the bottom, and the shit on top, once it starts, it can't stop. That's what solid rocket means versus liquid.
This thing on the bottom is also solid rocket, but
that's a little different.
But
Hey, Brad,
it still can't be turned off.
Brad, is there, since for a very long time we've always said it's not rocket science because rocket science is real complicated. Since rocket science isn't so complicated, can you give us what we should replace? What should we replace rocket science with?
Let me truncate some definitions.
I got a suggestion. Kayaking. How about this guy right here?
Kayaking.
This guy, he showed up. And
he's one wayward boat Twitter away from being the.
He's fine. He's right next to. He's right next to one of the buoys that helps guide the cruise ships into the.
He's
port.
right next to one of the buoys that helps say you're not charged with a crime right now.
Right.
That very rich people have said, "Don't be here at this time, bitch."
Steve-O, I don't know about this going to Mars thing. It's not kayaking. It's just not kayaking.
It's not kayaking.
It's no kayaking. I'll tell
It's
you
not,
that.
but the way I see it is people have real life jobs. People can't devote the time and effort necessary in order to learn rocket scientists. So Steve-O dumbs it down for me. I'm going to dumb it down just a tad further.
A couple notches down.
So anyway, you see this rocket.
All right. So
Go ahead, Dave.
The whole plan was. Oh, did you have something, Dave?
No, I was just going to say it helps. It helps an awful lot if somebody just gets the Kerbal video game.
It really does. I mean,
let me take you from
so
what
much.
you know what the fuck you're doing with every step of the way with Kerbal to I think I dragged this out, and then all of a sudden my shit keeps floating around the planet.
Yeah.
I don't really have to do shit because it's Kerbal and I don't have mods to solve.
I'm telling you, man, Kerbal Space Program will teach you so much about how and why rockets get to space and the shit that they take there, leave it there.
Rockets are
fun.
awesome, and it takes a lot of shit and a lot of money because we're not good at it and making the shit that makes rockets get off the fucking ground. Because I've seen rockets get off this planet like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
And this was
right
one
now.
of those. This was a Minotaur. This was modified.
Damn it! I missed the Minotaur.
But guess what? It did not take off like I thought it was. I was telling everybody, man, this thing, it's a Minotaur. It's gonna leap off the pad. It's gonna be like a fucking bottle rocket. It wasn't. It lumbered off the pad.
You like fireworks? You like rocket science?
Okay, so like I said, the whole
I'll
plan
explain
was
it.
to test out this abort. So they're going to launch it way the fuck up there, and they're going to take it up to 31,000 feet, and going at a speed of it's Mach like 1.2 or 1.4 or something, and then they're going to trigger the abort as if the rocket underneath was exploding. And so here is
At max Q, I'm guessing.
Yes,
is
exactly.
When they,
That's
all
it.
right.
Yep, because they want to make sure that they can escape an exploding rocket during.
Let
the
me explain
most
what max
demanding
Q is and why you should give a shit.
Yeah,
so
Max-
I
go ahead.
cannot believe that you took a picture that made blue look prettier than blue.
Motherfucker, you're talking to Space Coast Steve. You need to
Jesus,
recognize
look
right
at
now,
that plume.
spacecoaststeve.com/Twitter/ all the fucking feeds.
I mean,
Buy his
it's
shit online right
it's
now.
cool. It's no kayaking, but it's
No.
cool.
So
This ain't no kayaking. This ain't even the good shit. Let me explain what Mass Q is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mass Q is like if the rocket's going to blow up, this is right now, mathematically. This is when it's going to do it. And that's when this test was triggered because they put a little bottle rocket on there because you can get max Q real quick in the lower atmosphere. Because if you remember from science class, air is like water. Water has density. It's heavier at the bottom than it is at the top, much like the Earth's atmosphere. Think of air like water. You're just in a pool. You're in a deep ass pool of air. And
but there is a point there's a point in
there's a
flight
point shit's gonna fuck up mathematically,
where your speed combined with the air pressure around you is the most stress on the vehicle. Like this is the hardest part. This all the aerodynamic forces and everything. This is the hardest part. So
blow up here, boom, mathematics.
I happened to get one photo right when the abort motor's fired because you see no smoke coming out. All you see is the flame coming out. So I happened to catch one right when those things fired.
Rocket right now.
All right. So that's that, and then the next one is it's going, and this is what I'm so proud of because the exposure on this is just about perfect.
Yeah, it's
and
cool.
you can see the detail in the flames and the smoke. And you have a separation here. You've got the booster that's still firing, and then you've got the abort motors where there's 4 streams. There's 4 little ports for the fire to come out. And they're firing, and they're actually firing down around the capsule, but the capsule's being protected by a part that comes down from that abort tower.
Can you zoom that picture in so that because you're not really seeing and go up to where that's the craft. That tiny thing is making that big ass.
Well, this is the tower, the needle at the top, and that fire is going around the spacecraft.
You see the tower at the top, and it's ripping through the air, the sea of water, if you're nasty, so fucking fast that it's ripping the air molecules apart, and it is engulfing the top part of the rocket because that motherfucker is going so fast. Hey, you ever shot a bullet from a gun? Anybody here like guns on this Verbal Assault podcast? Well, guess what? Gun ain't got shit. LOL, that bullet. It's going 300 feet per second. It's going 3,000 feet per second, these rockets. So fuck your bullet. LOL. Oh, that's fast. Superman, no. Superman couldn't take a rocket to the chest. That bitch is dead.
So these are just, I'm just kind of going through them. So you see, okay, now in this one, you can see that the tower with the capsule has gotten quite a bit away from the booster, and you can clearly see the booster right here still firing. So
it looks like a shy ghost.
Yeah.
Like
so what this shows, and NASA has a lot better data to prove this, but this shows that while the rocket was still firing, the capsule was still able to accelerate past.
Right.
You want data, you want pictures. Here you go.
I mean, that's some serious escape velocity. I mean, we're looking at about...
Steve-O, show them the good shit.
I mean...
So this is all 3 parts. So you've got the boosters here. Now everything's turned off. All the fire has stopped. You've got the boosters falling away. This is the tower. The abort tower has separated from the capsule, which is over here. Right? So the whole idea was get it away from the exploding rocket, and then you got to get the abort tower off of the capsule because the parachutes are on the capsule. You got to get this thing off of it so that they can fire their parachutes. But what's really cool is they've tested these parachutes time and time again, and they're like, frankly, we don't need to test these parachutes anymore.
Fuck you and fuck the parachutes and fuck your need for parachutes. We're fucking landing this bitch Mach 4.
All this shit's going to hit the ground at about 300 miles an hour, or hit the water at about 300 miles an hour. And actually, a very good videographer took a video of this hitting the water.
Yeah, I saw that video. Do they let people know, hey, if you're out fishing today?
Yeah, there's for every launch there's always a NOTAM. That's a notice to airmen, but it's also a notice to boatmen as well.
Yeah.
300 miles per hour is 134 meters per second.
A dude in the kayak,
so how fast
chilling.
it's going.
He's just chilling. It's the same guy. Yeah, it's the same guy.
Same guy. He's out there.
And
Then
so,
guy
and
thinking
this guy,
bad things ain't gonna happen.
He's like, look at these simpletons.
the guy's name is Red's Rhetoric, and he has a YouTube channel. And I'd never heard of him before this, but by God, I know who he is now.
Guy in
But
the kayak?
no, the guy that filmed this.
Oh.
He did a great job. This TJ Cooney, he's another guy that gives space news around here. He tagged the wrong person up here, but the real person that did it was Red's Rhetoric. So look up Red's Rhetoric on YouTube if you want to see some cool videos. But the fact that he caught this, like he was following the capsule the whole time, he was doing a great job, and he started to lose it, but he could still tell where it was going to land. So he takes his camera down and he just puts it on the horizon, and he catches the Orion capsule coming in and smashing into the ocean. It's just such a fucking great video.
We'll bring it up.
It's on here. You should be seeing my screen. Are you not?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. It's on the stream.
Okay.
All right,
cool.
Okay.
It's up there, Brad. Cool your tendrils.
Yeah, and then I got this nice little photo of just the beach and the smoke stream from the launch. And this was after everything was falling, and I was trying to maintain a focus on the capsule as it was falling, but I lost it. So I was like, well, I'll just switch to a wide angle, and I just happened to catch it hitting the water right down in here. Poof.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't realize that at first, and then I was going through my photos, and I was like, oh shit, I did catch it. Like right as it may not have been the capsule because everything hit the water right around the same area. But yeah, I saw a nice little puff there. So all right, so to bring it all home, what this means, this is the next step in getting astronauts to be able to fly on the Orion capsule. And I understand, a lot of people don't know that NASA has this capsule they're building. This is basically the next generation of spacecraft. It's like Apollo on steroids. It's much bigger, it's much more capable, and the whole idea is to be able to carry astronauts into deep space, where you have Boeing and SpaceX building the Starliner and the Dragon capsule. Those are essentially just to take astronauts to the space station. They're not intended for like week-long stays in orbit or anything like that, whereas the Orion capsule is. And this was we're getting down to the line where we're checking the boxes and making sure that all the systems work, and that's what this was, to make sure that the abort system works. And then sometime next year, supposedly, they're going to launch the SLS with the Orion capsule on top, and they're going to send it around the moon, and that'll be kind of its shakedown test. And then once that's done, then they're able to move forward with putting people on it and sending people around the moon again for the first time in almost 50 years.
Hey, did you see? I don't know if it was Trump's. It might have been his speech yesterday, 4th of July speech, where he talked about planting a flag on Mars.
Well, I want to see that.
I just saw a quote. I didn't actually see the video of it. I just saw a quote. But
and one more thing, Steve-O, at the Kennedy Space Center for the anniversary for the moon launch or the space program,
right?
There is a plaque or some type of plaque for the Kennedy Space Center. It's a wooden plaque, and it's been donated. It was all carved by hand.
Yeah,
that came from here.
It came from Tennessee.
Yeah, and
wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just now. I mean, it was on the local news here this week, so it's just now arrived.
Okay,
so
but it's in
keep
the
your eye
visitor
out
complex, as far as you know.
It's at the Kennedy Space Center, and it will be there. And it's an homage. Several I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a wooden carving that's an homage to the moon program.
Like the Apollo program. It probably has more than just Neil and Buzz on it, right? It probably has several of the astronauts.
They just keep showing it for blips, and I just keep meaning to tell you that when you see that down there, that came from right here in Knoxville, a local crafts lady.
Dave,
would I Google something to find it?
Yeah, I would go to WBIR, actually. That's where I saw the news post from. What would you say, Nathan?
I was gonna say, do you want to still at the end here cover the story you had sent to Steve-O?
It's really quick. Yeah, it's not too long. It's kind of interesting. I mean, we don't need to too much time on it. But, well, I guess I need to get it up.
Yeah.
Get it up, Dave.
That's what she said.
Oh, that was perfect.
Well, while you're doing that, Steve-O, did you see the comment on your picture that was shared by the Planetary Society from the Flat Earther?
I did. Do you have it though? Can you read it?
Yeah, I do have it pulled up. So the caption of the photo is something like, "We are in space because of the dream of something." I can't remember exactly what it says, and I'll lose this if I go back to it. But he said, "We," in quotation marks, LOL. No one is in space and never will be. And then another comment right after that, actually 2 days after that said, "Aw, look, another curved space flight that curves totally away from the upper flatosphere. Weird."
Oh my God, Jesus! Thank you, Becca. That's,
I mean, you got a
that's
couple
fucking
bugs when you
great.
move here, right, Becca?
I wanted to say something to him, but I was like, no, I can't. I won't. I need to not do this. So I did not pick a fight with this person.
Yeah, you're new there. That's so funny. All right.
Is this it, Dave?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you see
That's
it? Okay.
the one.
This one right here. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Seymour Artist.
Of course, whenever I pause. Oh, here, close that. Yeah, here, I'll show you guys.
Whoa.
Oh, no.
Whoa, whoa,
What the
whoa!
fuck is going on here?
Somebody got a fire,
Not in our apartment.
Becca.
Uh-oh. They cooking?
Becca, when
she
mute.
muted.
Oh, jeez.
It's fine.
Get that towel out.
Did
Start
Lauren
fanning.
Joseph start a fire?
No, they're cooking sketty.
Sketty.
You don't need that high
I was
heat.
gonna say.
How do you burn the
Shove in no
sketty?
No smoke
Or spaghetti.
detector.
What the fuck?
What was that sound?
You're searing meatballs? That's the only explanation I can accept.
It's. I honestly don't know. I smell noodles.
Siri's listening to you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me pull up Dave's.
Oh, did you want to play that? I mean, it
No,
didn't matter to
I
me.
don't know. I wanted to pull it up, and there.
Okay.
Now we can see it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's really
you
awesome.
can.
I would say that is Buzz because Buzz was on film saluting the flag on the moon.
It's a wood carving.
That is awesome. Yeah, I want to see that up close.
Oh, see that.
Surely that's going to be in the visitor complex, not like somewhere in like a administration building where no one gets to see it. Hopefully. All right. Well, that's your space, Dave.
That's your space.
You want to talk about this?
All right. So it looks like some electric cars been damn near running over some blind people.
Yeah.
So fake
I shouldn't
noise.
have laughed.
But you did.
I'm a terrible person.
Fake noise will be added to electric cars starting today in the EU. This was July 1st. It was dated. Article is an article. So there you go. So all new models of electric cars sold in the European Union must now make artificial noise under certain conditions. So it's called the Acoustic Vehicle Alert System, aka AVAS, will need to be installed in new models of hybrid and electric cars introduced from today onward and all existing models by July 2021. The AVAS installed vehicles will need to make a sound while traveling under 12 miles per hour. So while these sons of bitches are trying to cross the street down in Florida, well, they're going to have to do that too.
Or like there's so many times when you're like you're going down one of the roads that lead to a beach access and there's parking and stuff, and people just walk down the middle of the road all the time. And I don't have an electric vehicle, but there's a lot of times that my gas engine is off when I'm going slow. And I'll be creeping up behind somebody, and there's always, I'm always balancing, should I give them a toot toot? Are they going to think that I'm being rude? And, sometimes I'll just kind of ease up, just follow behind them and let them at some point turn around and be like, oh shit, but yeah.
I don't know, but it looks like that your car will probably be getting a software download because it goes for hybrids too.
Well,
I
I would think you'd have to put a speaker in there.
Well,
this is for the UK,
it's-
right?
And
No,
by the way,
it comes to the
like,
US.
It's
the
for
I'll
the
get
Prius,
to
UK,
that.
but they
I'll
could
get to that.
definitely influence the US market.
the Prius is not completely silent when the gas engine's off. It makes like a kind of
I mean,
sound when it almost
mean,
sounds
yeah,
like
you can't
brakes
hear
that
that
are
shit.
scraping.
I can
but-
barely hear it. Now
Your
that I know I can hear it.
I mean, your horn is a speaker.
Right.
I mean, it only depends on what noise that you're putting through it. It only happens to sound like a horn because
That's the sound.
sounds
they put
like
in
a
the
horn.
You're right. You're right.
You know, it's not like it's going. You don't have a rubber bulb at the end of it going. I mean, it's an electric sound. So,
Hey, Dave, do they say anything about custom sounds? Like, could I get a recording of Elon Musk saying like, "Hey, Blindy, move, move, look out,
I'm
Blindy."
Get out of here! I'm a
certain there'll
future
be
car.
a hack for that. I'm
Yeah.
certain there'll be.
Somebody
it
was
may affect
asking.
your warranty.
Somebody was asking Elon on Twitter, like, are you going to put fart noises in that sound?
So it said, due to the absence of an internal combustion engine, electric vehicles can be a lot quieter, as we've discussed. Than
Teslas
gas.
like make no noise.
Yeah,
Silent
So-
killers, they say.
So the lack of noise can mean that it poses a danger to, to blind or partially sighted. So there was a study done. I don't know how they did this study, but apparently the study says that there's blind people there's a 40% chance increase that they're going to be hit by an electric vehicle or a hybrid. So the different manufacturers will be able to decide exactly what their AVAS will sound like, but the EU's legislation says that the sound should be similar to and not louder than a traditional combustion engine.
So-
It should also give pedestrians an idea of what the vehicle is doing by, for example, synchronizing with the vehicle's speed. Apparently, Jaguar has already done something like this. So the Jaguar I-Pace will sound, and Nissan announced a concept vehicle back in 2017 that sings as it drives. So that won't work in the EU because it has to sound like an internal combustion engine. So, but the U.S., the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, will require that all hybrid and electric vehicles emit artificial noise by September 2020. So,
Oh, wow.
I mean,
okay.
it's today in EU, but by the end of next year, it'll
Good.
be here too.
I'll spend another 3 hours down at the Toyota dealership letting them
I have
update
to
my
fit
car.
a joke in so
the
hard.
the
right
difference
now.
is here, they don't have to make a noise until it's traveling at 18.6 miles an hour.
Or less.
Yeah. So it's 12 miles an hour in the EU and 18.6 in the US.
Okay.
I'll tell you what the perfect US mod is right now. I'll tell you. What you have is you have Little John yelling vroom, 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 vroom with a car engine noise in the background. That way you know what country you're in when you're crossing that crosswalk. It's Little John going boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. They're going to
What
love
about
it.
the one with that woman that's crying to her boyfriend? She's like, and somebody put it to a car.
I mean, that's how you know where you are if you got the fat knees.
And it, yeah,
That's
and,
the California.
and it can go with the speed. It goes.
I mean, it would almost be funny if they said it must sound like an internal combustion engine. It would,
That'd be hilarious.
to some degree, if Tesla could make it that the sound would be like a rocket, because
Yeah.
the internal combustion engine of a rocket.
Yeah.
You can sound instead of driving, you'd be like at 12 miles an hour. It sounds like a rocket. It's driving real slow, but it sounds like it's just going like crazy.
You're going to throw blind people for such a loop. They're going to be like, I've literally never heard that before. It must be a slow-moving vehicle.
No, the problem is going to be they're going to fall backward onto the other side of the street and get hit by another car. So they'll have to change that too. And you know what? This kind of sucks because I feel like a lot of the reason why people like electric cars is because of how quiet they are. Like, that sucks that there's really no other good way to save the blind people in this situation.
Besides, I guess just looking out and not hitting them.
We're
Well,
saving the planet
why?
as a whole
Attention.
because that's more the planet's more important than the blind people.
Well, but the blind people, it's not. I don't think I thought about that too, but it's not an issue with the people not stopping. It's like if they're blind, they might just walk right out because they don't hear you. You have no time to stop.
Yeah, right.
I
So
don't know
there's-
why there isn't an electric car named the Ninja. I mean, that just seems normal to me.
And
They
you
don't
can
want
make
to
it
name
sound
their
like a ninja.
starter the Ninja. They need like 3 or 4 gens before they do a Ninja. You
Yeah.
don't want to fucking lead with Ninja.
True.
You're gonna fucking follow it up with Shinobi. No one's gonna fucking
Even
buy that.
even the
I'll buy an
Ninja
American,
motorcycle
fuck
makes
you.
Yeah, I was
noise.
gonna say make it sound like the Kawasaki Ninja.
I was gonna say I saw a thing where somebody reported that had a Tesla. They reported the amount of money they spent for driving. I forget how many miles, but it was way cheaper.
Well, one of the
Amazingly cheaper than what I'm spending.
One of the photographers that came down for the Falcon Heavy launch and stuck around for the launch that I just talked about, he came. I want to say he came from Indiana, and his round trip is going to be $75, and that's using the superchargers. That's not charging at your home, so you pay a little more to use the superchargers. But $75 round trip from Indiana to Florida and back.
Oof.
But that's a lot of time.
Tickets for me.
Well, it's not. I mean, because if it's as advertised, you can get. It's like you can get like 75 or 80% of your charge in like 20 minutes. Because it's like that last little bit takes longer to do to force that energy in there. But you can get like 75, 80% charge in like 20 minutes, which is longer than you typically stop. I mean, Elon always he advertises it like, well, that's about you run into the.
You put it next to restaurants, so you go charge
you
your
go
car,
get a bite
eat,
to eat,
and then come
that's
back, and you're ready to go.
That is the idea, but yeah.
I mean,
that's not that bad.
I can remember in 2005, and I know it's not even a remote comparison, but it's amazing that in 2005 I still had that Yukon, which had a 38-gallon tank on it, I might add. I remember filling it up. I may have had a quarter of a tank, but I remember because that in 2005 gas prices were ridiculous, and I put it on my American Express, and it was $118 fill up.
Oof.
To go how far?
Well, I mean, it's a 38-gallon tank, so it kind of messes with your head. You go, well, I got a full tank. Well, yeah, but you get like
10 miles to the gallon.
1 mile to 1 mile to a gallon or something like that. So
10 gallons to a mile.
Yeah, I just hear $75, and I go, damn, that wouldn't even have filled up the tank on the Yukon.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. Well,
Brad,
Becca.
Wait, Brad got his 23andMe. I thought we were going to hear all about what.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll
talk about it later.
Oh, we sold it on Twitter. Oh, man.
Well, tune in next time.
All right, yeah, tune in next time.
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
Another one of our famous teasers.
I had forgotten about that.
It's fine. I mean, I'm still going to have the same genetics, believe it or not. So.
And so will everybody else now, too.
Yeah, Dave, I want you to really get your research down for like all the places that his data is going to be sold to. And
I have it now. We'll
do it next week.
I could present it.
I already looked it up, but I'm glad now I have time to form a fashionable rebuttal.
Oh no, it's cool. I would like to do it myself.
I would too. Yeah.
The whole thing kind of just skeezes me out a little bit. Having
yeah,
Silicon Valley having my DNA information, it's a little creepy. Silicon Valley has enough.
I've had to think about it, but we'll get into it.
I mean, and here I say it. I'm going to go ahead and say it because we're on it. But and my dad listens to the show. They already got mine. I had no say in the matter.
All right, because your dad did it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Great. That makes my case even stronger.
If Dave's dad is cool with it, that actually is a good. Does add to your case.
Oh, I know it does.
I can complain about it. He'll go, your dad likes it.
I'll see you.
Shut up.
I'll see you in court, Dave.
Next week.
Next week, we're going to court.
DNA
That's so
court.
funny.
Get your samples ready.
Start spitting now, kids.
Becca, I want to hear the first Florida poem. It better
Okay.
be sunny and exciting.
Oh, it's not.
Oh, it's back to the dark and depressing poems, are we already?
You'll just have to get the sunny and happy from me while I read it, but the
Okay.
poem itself is not. But I
Okay.
am very. Okay, so this one is called Get You Healthy.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Just
he
happened.
laughed. He made me laugh.
This is not supposed to be funny.
I just remember when it was said earlier. That's what made me laugh.
Yeah.
I don't. So.
Jesus.
I couldn't fit the whole sentence in because it didn't make sense, but it was gets you drunk and gets you healthy.
Right. Well, yeah. Right at the very beginning, I should have thought of that.
So I remember that one.
These are
'cause I
done
know I
sort
said
of in
it.
order.
That's funny.
How does it feel to be the title, Brad? You happy?
Come a long way, baby.
You've probably been the title before, but all right. Get you healthy. I'd like you to try again. The skill of keeping it going is the only thing that can destroy you. We want to be comfortable. Stay the course. It goes up and down, the age of the success. If you're thinking ahead, you're thinking too much. Why are you punishing yourself? Test your real abilities by staying quiet and safe.
Get the fuck out of here, Becca. God damn.
Good shit. That's like some Buddhist
Even on the
shit right
beach, she's still.
She brought the
spitting that
magic with her.
Not
Magic to the
depressing.
beach.
It was
Yeah.
serious. It wasn't depressing. It was
I
some
didn't-
wise
Yeah.
words, and words of wisdom. Like back in the day, I would always ask Todd for words of wisdom, and he would just say,
It's the
"Oh,
world. It's
been
the
a
big
long-
world.
Don't
been
you,
a long
don't you fuck
time.
up and say deuces right now. I
been
swear
a long
to God.
time around in the world. Been around talking
whole big
about
world.
stuff. Stuff has been happening and stuff.
Will always happen.
Yeah,
stuff be happening.
That's
Never
what
stops.
stuff does.
God damn it!
It happens.
Stuff never stops happening.
All right, yeah. Thank you to Haywood Banks for our theme song. Thank you everyone for being here. Leave us a review on your favorite podcast, whatever app. Check us out on YouTube. Hit us up on Patreon. What's the number where you can call and leave us a voicemail?
865-316-6955. You can just hit playback and you'll get it again because I know I didn't fuck it up this time. Ready, go.
And follow us on Twitter _verbal assault_. Send that money in. Where do they send that money at?
I said Patreon.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I did.
I figure
Say it.
Patrick might want to say
Oh.
what the
Patreon /verbal assault
/ but
/
who's counting?
If you're nasty, it's a /.
Yep.
Deuces.